Hello Farmer Min, how are you? Welcome along. It's alright, I was sorting some things. Since we put a new graphic card in, she's inclined to stall a wee bit and we haven't quite worked out what's going on. Could be another mod conflict going on. Look, come on, out the way. No doubt we will work it out. But as we have taken off all the newer ones, I'm not quite sure what is going on. Or in other words, it's having a hissy fit, just like computers do. Oh, pardon me. I hope you are well. I'm just waiting for the Don to do its thing. The planes! They're spying on us again. Right, we need a tractor. And a plough. And as I've just started this, I'm not quite sure what is where. We've got a tractor. It's not a plough. We'll have to go and get one. $170. We should have enough. The shop is just around the corner here. Don't do this. Right, go and get a plough. Hopefully the computer will settle down. And we all know the plough, the lizard. Main colour, we'll go yellow. And, well, not pink. It's a wee bit different. Variety of colour is best. What am I standing on? Oh, there's a tractor. And the plough is over there. You can see I'm driving a Fendt favourite 515C. Not an oldie. The fields on here are quite big. So it needs the bigger equipment. There's a few smallish fields around the farm itself. Alongside the road. Entrance to the field. Let's go somewhere. out a wee bit. So I'm changing direction. I'm using the plough. It goes better when it's going backwards for some reason. Oop. And back up. See, now we can go faster. Just one of those handy little tricks. I know I'm not very straight at this. That can go away. Welcome along to Akatitas. Thank you to Johnny in United Modding and Kaz64 and the rest of the team for version 2.0 of this map. It's a little honey of a map. A long way off of being small fields. I was going to use the old tractors, but then I remembered the size and went no. Whoop, still got us. Lovely scenery, as you can see, mountains. You can get to a lot of the islands on here if you know how. But that is for you to find out. It is secret information. I cannot divulge it to you. But it's like walking on air or driving on air, is all I'm going to say. Depending on where you go. The yard has changed a bit from the original one. There's no animal yards, you have to put them in yourself. Which I will eventually do, at least sheep will go in. I am using the inspector so I can see who's doing what. In front of us is the farmhouse in the yard. Just a couple of minutes to fix that. Thank you, Sarge. I see what you've been up to. Don't go away. And put extra things in if you want. There are little places. There's a wee storage shed in front. Another shed down the back. And a silo. Heaps of growth room. At this point we need to make money. Can progress along. There's Don working away quite happily. He's missing a few patches. I don't like digging it in, but just a technicality at the moment. I'll pretend that he hasn't missed any. I think I need to move that tractor. Hello Glenn, welcome along. Great to see you here. And how are you? Yeah, Min's not talking. I think he came and went. Or he's just sitting in the background lurking. But that's fine. Lurkers are allowed. And do we find you well, Glenn? You want to get him onto another row so he doesn't turn around and try and go down the other way where Don is working. Better be a bit professional about this, about stopping and lifting. We're all fine, thank you. They're all doing their own thing, as always. Had the grandson because it's still school holidays. Did you just miss a bit? No. Well, that's not going to happen, not on my shift. But yeah, we're all well. I had a bad day on Tuesday, Wednesday, coming right now. And the nor'easters really took it out of me. They were 130k winds. It really upset my breathing. Then colder weather came and the old aches and pains really got to Chippo. But it's alright, I'm here tonight. It's the joys of getting old. The old body goes, oh, today you're going to be sore. Or today you're going to be stiff. I like it when it goes, oh yeah, you're going to be fine today. That's the one I like. Don's fairly close to the end of the field, but look at that. He holds quite a bit. So you've been happy farming? I see Sir Min is back on rustic. Be interesting what he gets up to this time. Turned a wee bit fast, didn't I? Movie over. And we will jump out when we get close to the tractor. So I like jumping out of vehicles, seeing if I can bounce. So over here we have got one of the older tractors, which is still quite powerful. Pretty colour. And if you can pronounce that, 135. So if you can work that out. Hello Tiny, how are you tonight? Enjoyed your stream yesterday? Or last night? Or morning? I'm fine, thank you, apart from the old aches and pains, but just caused by old age. And you're doing fine, that's good. So, Narcocheetahs, map that Johnny put together with the help of Kaz and the United Modders and J&J Mods. Show you the map. We are down in this bottom corner. It's where all the smaller fields are. Around this area. And then the sale points up here. There's some sale points over here. And as you can see, the fields are rather small-ish, not. And there's sale points up here. And before anyone asks, 17 is... Oh, there's 17 on the island. It's actually quite a big one. Are you quite possibly will end up putting my base over the side? Because it is really nice over there. Actually, while they're doing that, we've got to go and have a look. This is Lost in the Woods. And I could be going out the wrong way. I think. Got to remember. No, I think it's out between there. No, the other side. There's two factories here. Morning, Sid. Go around the side, give you a quick look. Oh, Frank's not talking. Yeah, sale point. Now, if I remember rightly, I think there's one in that direction and one. Yeah, there's one just up here. But the only two that I know of at this point in time. I see there's three. Of course there's three. Because Granny can't read. It's a good place to make money. Come on. And if you don't work it right when you come out of here, you end up in the brink. Ooh, I think that one with the house on's a new one. I think. I'll have to rack my brain on that. But this lovely wee island. Ooh, what's that? Oh, there's a bit of dirt on my screen. As usual, I need to clean it after the grandson's been on it. I'm taking you into the woods, haha. I really appreciate it, Glenn. Thanks for popping in. And you take care of yourself. And I'll catch up with you again soon. Love to the family. Yes, we're running up here. Oh, I can see something weird in the woods. Now, has he changed anything here? That looks like the road is still there. That would take us home the long way. But I just want to go straight ahead and show you the plot up here. So usually you'd veer off there to head home. But there's this area here. It does hold a farm quite happily.
Hello?
Hello Zippy, welcome along.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. So you
Are
can put
you
a...
live?
Yes, I'm live. So you can put a farming up
Has
here.
anyone logged in?
What was that, love?
Has anyone logged in?
Yes, there's Tiny, and Glenn was here, but he had to go.
Hi, Tiny.
So now we hit this bridge, and it's the way home.
What map?
Akachitas?
The new one?
Well, it's sort of like a new one. It's been redone. I'll show it to you tomorrow if you remind me.
I'm not coming up.
Yes,
I might.
you'll be over tomorrow. It's Friday.
In the afternoon.
What, you're not going to be here in the morning?
No? I'm staying with Blake.
Oh, okay. So Tiny says hello.
Hello.
Are you shooting, Skylar?
Yes.
I can hear it. You need to turn it down if you're going to stay on Discord.
How do I turn it down? I just mute myself.
Okay, darling. He's a
Just
little...
tell me when anyone logs in on.
Okay, I'll tell you as they log in.
Mom.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Right, he's behaving himself. It made him stop. Right, what is Alpha B is blocked? No, he's not. He was. You all right down there? It's the trouble when you're waiting for a harvest. See, I'll have to have a tidy up. That sounds interesting. Someone is doing something behind me. Was that you?
There's something in the room.
It's in the fridge.
I don't get there.
Well, you should have asked me. So yes, Don. If you don't know him, he can't. I think he came with the map normally. United Modders organised him. You only need the one heater. Got a series for the back to make up all sorts of bales, and I've got on the straw one that you can empty just straight.
There's Dawn login. Chat.
Pardon?
Is Dawn logged in?
No. Why would Dawn?
Then who were you talking about?
I was talking to Bina there for a minute.
Oh, it's Dawn.
Oh, the Don. Don is the harvester, remember?
Oh, yeah. I remember. No.
You would remember if you saw him.
Myself.
Okay. He may be looking on YouTube. Thank you, Vina. So we are just sitting waiting for the harvester and the plough. We'll need to lime, fertilise, so we'll have to buy those. So happy to see what the prices are on that. For the limer, we can get the big one, it's 67. So we'll get that. Spreading discs. An extension's always handy. Might get two. I know, because that could do that. Yeah, I don't think it's in this part. No, it will be in that part. Crop protection. There he is. He could be the lime one. Let's hope I've got enough money, $75. No, I have to lease him. It's only 13,000. So we've got our fertilisers. And that will leave a cultivator. How much is a cultivator? I can have a decent sized one because I'm on this map. And how are you, Tiny? 68,000. I've got 62. 120,000. 105. What have we got in the specialties? Oh, I don't like that green thing. Getting fussy in my old age. Yeah?
Did anyone new?
No, there's no one new. Hello to the 5 viewers in the background. Welcome along. Bye. Every now and again you'll hear from Zippy, my grandson. Hello, Ruby.
Ruby?
What?
Who's Ruby?
She's a new person. Welcome along. It's great to see you here, Ruby. Ruby
Hello.
Gaming. Yeah, I can imagine you're going through a wee bit of a rough patch there, Tiny. Are the boys okay, and yourself on the basics? Trying hard not to say too much here, seeing I'm live. You're welcome, Ruby. And do you do farming, Ruby? And if so, what map are you doing at the moment? Tiny is all over the place doing different farms, usually Ballincraig, I think that's the right name. Or trucking. But anyone that you see, Ruby, that pops into the chat and is blue, they're a good person to follow up. Oh, I'm glad you're holding up. It was a real shock to this household. We didn't know what to say. If I could give you a cuddle, I would. Oh, cool, Ruby. Any particular farm? I run all the ones by Kaz64 and this one of Johnny's. I think I'm addicted to them. And, oh, I have got, now what's it called? Chellington? But it's been pulled off Mod Hub.
Man,
Yes?
you get to do something. But, she does, how do you know that there's people in the background talking?
There's people in the background. It's up at the top of the Steam Labs that we use. It says 4 viewers. And that is young Zippy again, folks. Look, Tiny, you're a good mate, so we'll be here to support you. Totster! Zippy, Totster's coming.
Hello, Foster.
And how are you? Tiny's holding up, and we're holding up, and young Don is still harvesting. I forgot how much he holds. And behind us, up there, is a plough doing its thing. Tots just says hello, Zippy. For those that don't know, Zippy is my grandson. And he pops in now and again. And what the heck is he doing down there? Oh, he could be turning around, the old Don. I really wish Don could have a paint job. Pink with purple spots would be ideal. Just to make him stand out in the crowd. But he just needs a wee bit of a touch-up. Because he's a very hard-working harvester. In fact, how many fields do I actually own? Oh my god, I only owe 1. I can see some contracts being done. I don't, as a rule, in fact I have never played in multi except with family. But you'd have to stand in line with a whole lot of other people that would like to. I've just got to pluck up the courage, and then you've got to get all the mods I've got, which is over 400. There's quite a few guys that would have the ones I've got. But one day I'm going to shock everybody, and the two top ones at the moment are Big Daddy and Six Wheeling. They'd have to come first, because that could be an interesting night that night. But because of the time differences between our countries, I'm in New Zealand, they're in America. "2 hours and 39 minutes left before you explode. The world explodes. Or before you finish your shift." Ah, it's alright, I've read Tiny's now, the night shift. It's always nice when a shift ends. And the longest period is the half hour before it finishes. It takes forever. It drags so painfully slow. And then when you get to the last 10 minutes, it's even longer. And if things can crop up, they will. And you sort of hold your breath for that last 5 minutes. There's one thing I don't miss. Right, while he's paddling, let's go see this island over here. I think this is one I can... It's one of the secrets of this map. I'm sure it's this one. We'll soon find out. If Johnny's in the background, he could be laughing, going, "Yeah, watch this, folks." That's right. It all turns to hours. Right, you go along here. Do a left turn. And my computer's just buzzed, and we can walk on water. Hello, the computer's buzzing. I think the water's upsetting. Here comes Sarge. I'm really thinking it could be the water. It didn't start till then. Hang on. There you go. Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, I'll carry on while you do your researching. If you can hear that, it's my computer buzzing. It's like an alarm. I'm not quite sure what's going on. So there we are. We have a whale in the middle of an island. So I'll bounce back. Can you see what's doing it?
Yes, I think that was not can be named. We don't play
How do you know?
because it keeps stopping.
Go price it.
I price it after stream because I need to get in there and get the...
Well, we knew that was possible, didn't we?
Yep.
So that thing that shall remain nameless, the only thing that hasn't been replaced on this computer, is telling me it's time to get a new one. Mum's the word, and that's all I'm saying. Hopefully it's not going to cost too much. I'm afraid I'm not a rich person. And as you know, I bought the graphics card, new power unit last week. Alright, do we have to tidy anything up over the side? right there. So we'll start at the top end. I've decided computers can be very trying when they decide they're getting tired. I wonder if I can go to the doctor and ask him for a replacement part. I might try that next time I'm there. No, I don't want pills, I want a replacement. I don't think it'll be long before they do that sort of thing. Because they replace all sorts now, can't they? I can't quite get the whole lot. Whoops, wrong cap. Come on. Uh-oh. We've jammed. Come on, get your breath. We have a problem, Houston. We've come to a freezing stop. Can I tab to something else? No. Oh, yeah, there we did. Here we go. That'll explain all this nonsense, won't it?
I think so.
You think so? Well, that's the main part, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not working properly, so do you have to get our IT men to come over?
Mm-hmm.
You better arrange it. ASAP. Then you'll tell me the price and I'll go, So hopefully it won't take too long to fix it. Oh my god, I bet that means I'll lose all the passwords. Possibly all my saves. Unless he remembers to copy them off. Exciting fighting, isn't it? Yeah, Don's just about finished. Aha, I didn't block you that time. Even if you think it. But I can't complain. It worked his little heart off. It originally was built by my son, with help, because he's learning. And then he gave it to me when he got his new one. You won't lose anything. That's nice. You're so good to me. But I don't panic. If I had to restart farms, I'd just do it. It's what you do. Okay, we're going to fill 2 trailers. To be sure, so you need some money. And there's only 1% left. Hopefully we can make enough money off the hemp to buy a field. Come on, Don, steer straight. Oh, stop being drunk. Yep, there's the planes again. Don't know why they patrol my farm. I only just bought it. Come on. Look, there's no garage for my car. Haven't even bought that yet. I'll be around in a tractor. Alright, we need to poke the end out. Come on, Donald. I know you can do this. Here we go. Whoop. Alright, now let's hope he behaves himself and empties the hemp fibre in. Otherwise he's going to make a mess. Now I saw it come up. Come on, Donald, don't do this. Up, there it is. Gotta be quick. Here we go. Takes a lot to settle him down. Right, where do we take him to? Apart from a sail point. We could be going all the way up to here, or to the other end of the island, or we could be going down here. So we need to find this out. Here we go. Hemp. 3,000. Crepecha grains. Oh yeah, it's just outside the gates, sort of. You're always lurking, Sarge. You're a right little lurker. Yeah, I put it on multiplayer tonight because it worked so well on Tuesday night. We don't know why, but it did. Oh, there it is. It's one. Yeah, I was right. The one just outside the gates. Obviously I haven't set the trailers up. Topside band or whoop. Need to go forward a bit. And here's the second one. Oh, 95, 97, still unloading. Oh, getting a pretty dollar. We might be lucky. 37%. 200,000. We might be able to buy something.
Anyone have it?
Nah. I told you I'd tell you if they do.
I'm gonna look on your live stream.
You do that. 145,718. That's not a bad amount. Oh, come on, come on, come on, no, turn. Oh. See this, oh, here we go. I'm going to be naughty and just go straight across. But as you can see the little problems between lag and just freezing up a bit. Little technical problems. Just park this here.
It could be also that the graphics card could have maxed out your graphics on the game as well.
Maxed it out.
Changed it from what we had running last night when it was running smooth. It might have put it up on very high again.
How can you do that now?
Nope. Can't do that until you restart.
Oh.
Hey, Trouble.
What?
Hi, Sarge. Who's the person named Ray?
Is what? Well, there's the last person that commented was Tots, and hello Tots, and then above that was me, and me, then Tiny, hello Tiny, then me, then Tots.
And all the way up?
There's Ruby, and Tots and Tiny.
Yeah, the one that is the red.
That's Ruby.
Oh.
Right, yeah, now.
Did you say hello to Tots?
Yes, I said hello to Tots.
Yeah, so did you understand all that?
Yeah. I was.
Eh?
You say someone said and with a eyeball.
An eyeball, that's Tiny. It means he's watching. You have to excuse Zippy, he's always full of questions. Aren't you, Zippy?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how you learn. And yes, I'm being naughty filling them that way, but it's only because I'm so short of money. Oh, that's good, Tiny. Once he's back at school, he won't be on the same. Oh, Zippy, well done. But just don't get carried away with your little giffy things.
No. It means that I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what it was meaning.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Thinking's a good thing. Until you become an adult and you have to think hard. Alright, we need to see what that cloud's doing. Take him off the worker. You didn't see me miss that wee bit. Questions are to be there to be asked, and that's the only way you get your information. And we encourage them to ask questions. Some of them can be quite tricky at times, but there's always someone that can answer them. And if they're in the too hard basket, you refer them back to Mother.
Yes.
Eh?
Oh, I said I had time. And I think I got it right.
Yeah. Don't take what the wrong way. That's right. The only stupid question is the one not asked. And that's what I was trying to think of, but I couldn't remember how it went. Thank you, Tiny. Just ask my son how many stupid questions I ask him about games. I drive him nuts. Hello, we're doing the whirly-girlies. Okay, if you want to go that way. I don't think this will be a long stream tonight. Yes, it is. Because of what this is up to. So, be a long stream tonight. Skylar, I can hear myself.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. Yeah. Any place I've worked, they've always encouraged us to ask questions and then regretted it because I was always full of them. And I'd ask questions that the others wouldn't ask, that they would ask me to ask. Because they were too afraid to ask. Which is really silly. One cannot know everything. They can try. If I go around again, will it get it? Nope. I can see you watching, Zippy.
I'm not doing anything.
Alright.
Hey.
Yes. So what else have you been up to, Tiny Tots? Ruby?
Did you say tiny and
Yeah, I'll look you up afterwards, Ruby. And quite possibly subscribe to you. Possibly. You're keeping to yourself, but don't keep too totally to yourself. You've got to get out there and talk, and I know you more likely want to shut yourself away, and but that's not the right thing to do. You need human contact still, and adult contact, and that's why we're here. To pick on you.
And Magnus.
I'm not mad. I just like trying to keep people amused. And that's Kiwi Beaner that's just arrived beside me. Oh, Min's got you busy. That doesn't surprise me. Well, there's a hunk of grass in the middle of this field.
hey,
What?
what have you been up to?
Nothing, just had a wash.
Yeah, Min keeps me busy quite a bit, then.
What was that, Tony?
So Min keeps me busy quite a bit.
What, farming or just generally?
I'm funny. I'm guessing Tiny has joined it.
Yeah, Tiny's in Discord. And what's he got you keep doing?
Huh?
Keep him busy.
been busy.
Keep in contact. Make sure I'm doing okay.
Oh, that's good. Glad someone over there is, and he's ready to kick your butt if need be.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating myself.
Okay.
Eat.
Tiny's trying to talk, Zippy. So the kids starting school soon?
We just went back to school at the beginning of January. They return to work, they return to school part-time on the 4th. And then about a week later, they went back to school just about full-time. They're only off 1 day a week.
Ah,
The school uses when they get to, like, disinfected.
yeah.
So they do distance learning, which basically on Wednesdays they only have to check in, and then if they have any schoolwork to get caught up on, they do that. And if not, it's pretty much a day off for them.
Oh, that works out well. Yeah, Vina doesn't go back until what? February?
4th of February.
Yeah, 4th of February.
Well,
Well, that's my official start date, but I go on the 3rd for orientation day and meeting the teachers.
Yeah,
awesome.
they finish about a week before Christmas, and then they just go off. But then your kids have summer off, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just have 2 or 3 breaks in the year. Four term breaks of about 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, is it?
Yes, 2 weeks. All for me, it's finish early in November.
What are you doing, darling?
Sounds like adjusting his mic.
He's playing with his mic. So nothing else new?
No, not too much. Hopefully here within the next couple of weeks I'll be able to return to work.
Oh, my fingers are crossed for you, love. You
I
won't,
can't wait.
you won't know yourself.
If this is what retirement is, they can keep it.
I know the feeling. I'm totally out of sync.
No doubt.
You know, you get into a routine, get up, go to work, come home, cook meals, la la la. And then all of a sudden, there's no set routine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going, well, what am I supposed to do? And it'll be a year in March that I've been off and I'm still lost, trying to work out, well, what order of things do I do these things? It's just a shambles. You can't think straight.
Oh, I go nuts. I'm up, yeah. Oh, well, let's see, I woke up at 12 o'clock yesterday. I probably won't pass out till 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I
My
could.
sleep periods suck.
Yeah, I've got insomnias, but I try to go to bed 11:30, 12, at the latest 1, and play toss of rugby in the bed, seeing how far I can wreck my bed. Because I'm tempted to put my computer in there, but I know what would happen. I wouldn't go to sleep at all. But if I can get 3 to 4 hours sleep, I'm doing well.
I've been, for the last week and a half, I haven't been sleeping for crap, so.
It's an overrated thing, sleep.
I feel like it's wasting time.
It is, you are wasting. I did read how many days a year you waste if you get your 8 hours sleep. It's just silly.
I don't think I've had a full 8 hours sleep since I was probably about 15 years old.
Oh no, I used to get good at. It's only when I became a security guard that I really lost things. Hello, Light, how are you? Hope you don't mind me just calling you Light, but your name's so long.
What was that?
One of the kids?
Sounds like
No,
it's
it's
cat.
my wife's stupid ass cat.
And you love him to bits.
Well, no, her and I do not get along one bit.
Don't you?
No.
She
It's
argues.
a hate. It's a hate relationship.
Ah. You have those. We're just about finished this one. At least the computer seems to have settled down again. I'm afraid to say that with bated breath. One's down the middle and one each side. Well, sort of. Have you played this map yet, Tony?
No. No, I'm not on PC yet.
Oh, that's right, your console.
Yeah, I'm on PlayStation. I'm talking to you through my phone on Discord.
Ah. Right, there's the ploughing done.
Now the cultivating.
No, not the cultivating, the liming, fertilising, then the cultivator, if I can afford one.
Oh, Big Daddy says hello. He's got to get to bed because he's got to get Lucy up for tomorrow morning.
Ah, return the hello to him, please.
I don't see Big Daddy on there.
You know, it's quite a good wee map, this one.
Oh, I drool over all the maps y'all have on PC.
Yeah, I don't see why they can't be on console. Hell, I would forfeit some of the bits and pieces just to, so you guys can have it.
Well, that's just the console. Well, the older generation consoles couldn't handle it,
Yeah.
and it would actually cause severe lag if they did put it through. We have there's one map that we have. It's called RDC,
Yeah.
and originally when it dropped for console, it wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be PC only, and the modder was making a console version.
Mm-hmm.
And when Giants screwed up and dropped it.
Internet dropped. Okay, see? Check.
Oh dear, my internet has died.
No, it's back again because
Is it back
it's
again?
connected.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny's back.
It's back. Yep, it's back.
Oh, things are happening tonight. Don't know if this is good or bad. But as you were saying about the game, because we lost you for a second.
They had to pull that RDC map
Mm-hmm.
after they realized they dropped it accidentally for console and it was PC only.
Yeah.
They yanked it right back off the modder for consoles, and then let the modder, finish what he had to do to make it console ready.
And have you?
And it's funny because it's not the first time Giants have done that with a map that was PC specific, and they dropped it for both. And oddly enough, it worked.
And they still took it back.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah,
take?
they still took it back.
But if it works, why?
That's what nobody can figure out with Giants. I guess between Giants and Oxygen David, they've caused quite a ruckus this week from what I've been hearing.
Did he give them a piece of their mind? His mind?
Oh, I honestly don't know, but I guess Kellington's been yanked from the mod hub.
It has, because we've had a few problems with it.
Yeah.
When you limed, it automatically fertilised.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, everyone knows that doesn't happen, not a full fertilisation.
Right.
And then we're having to be looking at the mods and went, hey, where is it? And then we worked out it had been pulled. But I'd say there's more than that problem for it to be pulled. Bina thought it was good. Easy way of doing it.
I've actually been waiting for that.
Yeah, so have I.
For a while.
So I can't play it.
I have a save file on 17 for that on console that I play the hell out of.
Yeah.
I've streamed it a couple of times, but I don't stream it a lot. That was one of his first modded maps on 17. It was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but then like we've been playing since 2011, if not before. But I can't remember that map. But we only last year learnt about mods and maps and that. You know, we were very limited.
Okay.
Because we hadn't met you lot. Then Geordie discovered Mod Hub and Discord, and we haven't looked back.
Likewise.
We've been annoying everybody since. But no, I like.
Enjoying quality entertainment.
You know, kept saying to Geordie, is Chillington out yet? Is it out yet? And I'd check on Mod Hub, and no. It's just a constant no. Been waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
Because that's the only map outside of Kaz's and Johnny's that I've been waiting for. And this guy has stopped. Oh, maybe I didn't push H. But, you know, I've got really fussy with my maps, I'm afraid.
I actually had I deleted the FS19 earlier tonight and I had to reinstall
Good night.
it.
Night, Zippy.
Have a good night, Zippy.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Everyone says bye-bye. You know, yeah, we've still got... No, we haven't got a copy now. Bina's still got a copy on her computer.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll just update that when the update comes. Because I got mad with it. And went, nah, blow this. This isn't real farming.
Yeah.
Because I had crop destruction on, I had fuel usage on. I was going... The only thing that wasn't really on was the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was going to be my do it properly farm. Except for seasons and precision farming.
Precision farming's broke. Even for PC, it's not right yet.
Yeah, no.
Which is kind of sad because I've been working on it for 2 years and it's still not right.
Well,
I had installed it and hadn't really messed with it.
yeah.
And then I started a seasons save on 6 Ashes.
That was another
And
map.
I wasn't really paying attention
Yeah.
because for the most part it was working the way it was supposed to. And then I sold off what I had and we started on the map and I moved to a different portion of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved, I wasn't paying attention. The calendar for seasons got stuck on day 3 of autumn.
Oh.
On it, you know, the little bar you have in the upper right hand corner.
Yep.
The seasons, it tells you the day of what
That's right.
what season you're in that. It didn't click in my head that I'd gone 3 days and I was still on the 3rd day of autumn. And when I went into the save file, into the save menu
Mm-hmm.
for seasons, or into the seasons menu, it was showing that I was on day 6 of autumn, and it wasn't forecasting winter at all.
Well, that's
It
wrong.
was just a blank spot. And then I realized that when I was doing my ground samples, it wasn't changing the color of the map, the mini map. So it was all messed up, and when I finally realized what was going on, I went out, I went back in thinking maybe it just needs to be saved again.
Mm-hmm.
I did that 3 different times, and I finally caught on to what was going on. And I exited all the way out. I uninstalled the precision farming, went back into the save file, the game crashed. I restarted it and went back in, and it was fine and dandy, like nothing had happened.
Yeah, no,
So the precision farming is not right yet.
yeah, we've never used it because we're not really... It's not us, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it, really. Sarge looked at it, but he couldn't. But if it's broken, it could be why we don't make much sense of it. Because it's on all the things and we just shut it off. Because you
Yeah.
can't buy land or do anything when it comes up. You know, you'd be trying to buy land and you can't even do that. So we go, nah,
Yeah.
we're not wearing that. So we just shut it down, and I don't do seasons because I don't understand it. I'd like to try later on.
Season's a lot easier on 17 than it is on 19.
Is it?
And the only issue with 19 is the fact that you have to take into effect the fact that you have to worry about the animal's health and the age. Where in 17, all you had to do was make sure you fed them and they were fine. Health and age didn't matter.
Ah.
Well, health mattered, age did not.
Yeah.
But I tried running seasons on Welker's Farms, and I was using the specific wet season's geo for that map.
Mm-hmm.
And the first animal pen I put down was a chicken coop, and I lost the chicken the day after I put it up.
Oh no.
And it died from old age. It was a day old.
I don't think that's quite right. They don't die that fast.
No.
Yeah, I actually started 17 and 15 the other day on here. Maybe that's what upset her. My save games were there and that, but I couldn't get the controls to work right. So I went, oh, okay. So I'll have to have a look at another day. Because I think we've got 13, 15 and 17 and 19 on. Because I thought I'd surprise you all and play one of the really old ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I couldn't get the controls right. And Sarge was busy doing...
In my opinion, 17, in my opinion, they nailed it for 17. If they'd have left the graphics engine alone
Mm-hmm.
for 19 and just concentrated on getting newer and better equipment into the game, they probably would have done a lot better than what they did with changing the graphics.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting.
When they did that, they messed up big time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I sort of like both, from what I saw the other day of 17. But when Sarge has got time one day, I'll go, Sarge, and he'll go, whoops, it was down. He always does this, sort of, what do you want now, woman? And I'll go, can you? And he'll say, you can't get many mods. And I go, I know where to find them. And he'll go, oh, I should never have shown you how to put mods on. And then he smiles, and then he'll go away and find a whole pile of mods. But he'll sort the controls.
There you go.
He's really good to me, I can't complain. But don't tell him I said that.
Okay.
You know, he gets this idea I love him.
Oh, can't have that.
No, definitely not. You know, you never let your kids know how much you love them. Tots is very quiet. Mind you. Uh-oh. Sarge doesn't know anything about Farming Simulator 17. He has never heard of it. Oh, you fibber. What did I try? Farming Simulator 11. I can't even remember what farms are on that. That's going way back. I think it was fairly basic still.
Oh yeah, 11. From what I've seen, Daggerwood has done some stuff in. He streamed FS 11 here in the past quite a few times. And, it's just kind of like to go back and look at it type thing.
Yeah.
And, the game's come quite a long way
Oh, it has.
since then.
But what are they going to do next? Can they keep this one and just put decent mods and, you know, listen to the people what they want? Not what,
that's
not
gonna
what
be a
Giant
problem.
wants. Because that would be what to do. If you want to keep the people, you just listen to what the people are asking for and do it right the first time round.
Yeah, that's the problem. Seasons, they should have been able to work seasons into the base game by now. in my opinion.
Yeah.
They keep having to deal with realismus and getting a newer version every time they go to release the PC and console, and every time they do, it's never right. It's always got bugs in it, it's always got glitches. Like, you guys have had plenty of time to get this right, and you're still not doing it.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things. You know, if we all sat down and wrote a list of what they haven't done right, we'd be here forever.
My biggest issue with 19, and you can talk to anybody, they'll tell you my issue.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the game still, but my biggest problem with 19 was when Giants was getting ready to release all of this stuff. Everybody's biggest request was to have fields set up where you could move animals from and to. So,
Yep. Like
to me,
normal.
that means a base animal pen already on the map, doesn't have to be placed, but then to have optional fields where you can take the animals to for, year-round type grazing.
Yeah, like you would normally.
Yeah. And then their pitch was, we'll just give you placeable animal pens. No, that's not what people were asking.
No.
And they jumped the gun on that and screwed it all up 3 different ways to Sunday.
But they promised a lot of things that didn't appear.
Yeah, we did.
Because we were disappointed with all the things they said were going to be there, and we looked and it's going, well, where is it? But yeah, even if the paddocks were interconnected with a run, where you can just run the animals down like the farmers do,
Mm-hmm.
So you can change the fields. They eat them down, so you move them to the next one. But no, that was too easy.
I gotta give some of the modders credit, because a lot of modders have been making maps. What can I use for instance? The Valley Deal Farm on 19.
Mm-hmm.
By Black Sheep Modding, and their Campaign of France map. They have, not only do they have the animal pens already set up on the main farm, but they also went as far as putting in optional pastures for the animals. So you can move cattle from here to there.
What, do you put them in a trailer and move them, or?
Yeah, you can load them up at the main farm in a trailer,
Yeah.
and then move them to a pasture designated for them. But again, that's up to the modder for the
Yeah.
map that they're designing.
Well, that's cool. It'll take a lot of...
The Campaign of France has that built into it along, and that's a Black Sheep modding map as well.
Yeah.
But they worked that into not only that map, but they worked it into the Valley of the Old Farm on the King of that one.
Yeah. Well, so it can be done in plain English.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because if our modders can do all these things, Giants, IT boys and that, there's no reason they can't.
Yeah. That was part of my issue with one of my biggest complaints on 17 was the fact that the instrument panels wouldn't light up on
Yeah.
the tractor.
Yep.
And I don't remember who the modder was that did the Massey Pack on 17, but he took that into account and made it happen. And then as the game progressed, the modders were going, hey, we know how to do that too.
Yeah, and they've
They
all...
integrated that into their mods.
That's right. It's... if a modder... As I said, the basic modder's doing it. So it'd be interesting to see what they do.
And that goes along with certain crops on 19 too. It's up to the modder as to what the map has for crops. So that's why we have rye and rice and sorghum and all those things.
And hemp.
But on PC, you guys have all the other good ones like tobacco, hemp.
Yeah.
I've been watching Daggerman and Farm them in. They can now bale up corn straw bales.
That's right.
I guess that's in the mod. But again, it has to all do with the scripting, I guess.
Yeah. And
But
just... And your slots.
Even for scripting though, there's got to be a way around that console.
Yeah.
It's just somebody hasn't figured it out.
Well, I hope they do.
Or if even if they have, it could be an issue with Microsoft or Sony, saying no, not going to bother with that.
Yeah.
Which is highly possible.
It is. Yeah, I watch a lot of Dave Owens. He's one of my favourites, even though he hasn't got his Dennis and them back. I think they start in February. His 6 Ashes. His vintage one's interesting.
I've been slowly catching up on that.
You know, he's very good.
He is. When I first started playing Farm Sim, I originally bought an Xbox One, and that's where I bought Farm Sim 15. I played the game for all of 15, 20 minutes, and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And I got frustrated, and I said, "Screw this!" And I put it on the shelf for a year. And a year later, they're like, "No, let me take another crack at this and see what it's really about." But at that point, I had started watching Mr. CVP. I started watching a guy named Arthur Chapman. I started watching Dagenham. So I figured out the basics of what needed to be done for the game. And I had such a life at night. I played that game for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
After I figured out what was what.
It sounds like the way we worked it. We left
My
it.
fascination is just in the machinery itself. I enjoy farming. I grew up on one.
Yeah.
I grew up on a private farm. We did our own thing. So, in that aspect, I miss it. But on here, at least I get to do it virtually.
Yeah, I come off a poultry farm where we didn't do much of it because it was chickens. But, there was farmers all around us. We were a farming area. You used to help with the tailing and the hay and that.
Yep.
So we had basic idea, but how to use the equipment and that. As I said, we've really come away in the last year and a half.
We had cows, so we had my mother's parents were what they called land rich, money poor over here.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of fields that were left behind by her father that we got our hay off of for our cows, and we had goats when my parents first moved to where I grew up. We had chickens, we had rabbits, cows, goats, and eventually, as me and my sisters and I got older, we ended up with a couple of elderly horses on the farm. But we milked our own cattle, we made our own butter, stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm like Big Daddy. I'd like to see horse and cart and that sort of thing. But that's the crazy side of me.
That'd be intriguing, start off with some horses and cows and oxen.
Yeah, the basics.
Work your way up through the ages and actually get a tractor and whatnot.
I think it would be really cool, just to work through.
Yeah.
Hello, Steve. Welcome along. And then you'd really
Summer Farm Estates does something to that effect.
Who?
I mean, he uses a vintage Summer Farm Estates.
Yeah.
He does vintage farming on his channel. And that's, he set the dates and everything.
Yeah, I've just written them down, so I'll have to look them up. Right.
And that's part of why I love the DLPC, because of all the older equipment that's available to us.
Well, I'm going to do coffee this time. Yeah, no, I like my old equipment, but I have to work with the farm as to the size fields. And like on here, there are big fields, but rustic almost.
That's what I grew up using. Was we had a 1942 Ford Ferguson tractor, we had a converted horse-drawn window. They had cut the hitch off of it and just put a 6x6. You could put a panel hitch on the tractor to it. And we had a 1962 Ford Jubilee tractor.
Yeah.
And we had an old Ford Sycamore that my father lost a finger to the first week my parents lived in Connecticut. He was helping my grandfather put it in a road mode.
Yeah.
So he was picking the bar up, and my grandfather neglected to inform him that every time he'd get the bar up, he would kick the blade down.
Oh.
And my father didn't realize his pinky was stuck in between the blades.
Ouch.
And my grandfather kicked down on the bar on the flywheel, and my old man said he felt a pinch, and he looked up, and his pinky was hanging just below the knuckle by a piece of meat.
Oh, yuck. Yeah, no, we had an old president.
Sheared right off.
I can't think of his name now. Something Brown. David Brown, something like that. And an old president.
I've heard of him.
David Brown? I can't remember. It's something Brown. They're really old. One of them only had the two wheels in the front. It's right in like a triangle the wheels were.
Yep.
It didn't have very much in the brake line, and the accelerator was on the steering wheel. We had a lot of fun as kids with that thing.
Our old Ford tractors were, the hand throttle was right up in the steering column. Steering wheel.
But yeah, many memories made on those tractors.
Oh yeah.
Good and bad.
I didn't really have too many I had bad memories of growing up on the farm. I was a glutton for punishment growing up on the farm. If anything bad could happen, it would happen to me, unfortunately.
Oh dear, not good.
I've taken a shot to this one side of the head from a 1,500-pound Wilson.
Ouch.
Kicked me in the right temple.
That doesn't help things.
And that happened when I was 12. My mother remembers me crawling out of the barn door with blood streaming out of my eye sockets.
That would have been horrible.
Concussion.
But it hasn't affected you anyway, so that's a good thing.
Oh, well, when I was 8, I took a piece of wood to the left temple of my head.
Do you go out looking for these things?
Yeah, every time my heart pumped, usually it would shoot blood across the snow about 8 feet.
We're all going fine, thank you, Steve.
That was a headache and a half.
Yeah, I imagine.
Well, my parents were in wood for years growing up. And recently, my mother just converted over to propane stove. So when they started out, it was a little small wood box stove.
Yeah.
And then they went to a wood furnace. And when we were younger, my father had wood piles that randomly moved around the yard. And at one point, he had it just above our driveway. And you had to walk down a set of stone steps that were set right up against our foundation to the house.
Yeah.
And they were right under the eaves. So in the wintertime, those stone steps would just get covered in ice.
Ouch.
And it was everybody's job to help bring in wood. So he'd load our arms up with wood, and we'd take it in the house, put it where it needed to go. And this one specific winter, he would load us up so much you could barely stand up straight.
Yeah, let alone see where you're going.
Can't see where you're going, don't know where you're stepping. You guys be careful going down those steps. And as soon as he said it, I put my help from underneath the armload of wood went up in the air. I had one 13-inch long piece of log come down point first on the outside of my temple.
You really pick on your head, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, I've taken some good shots over the years.
Did the hospital know you by name?
Yeah, they did.
They say you're late, you should have been here yesterday?
When I was 12 and got kicked in the head, that same year I snapped my left ankle. bringing wood in.
Oh, jeez.
And my younger sister and I were bringing wood in, and I had said something to her that really ticked her off,
Mm.
and she pushed me. And when she pushed me, neither one of us had realized that my foot had fallen in between two pieces of wood that were frozen on the ground. So
Ow.
when she pushed me, I lost my balance and I went down, and we both hurt and bone snapped. And I hobbled up 13 steps to the kitchen. Ma, I think I did something to my ankle. You just don't want to bring wood in. You get your butt back out there and finish bringing wood in, this, that, and the other thing. So I did. I
Yeah.
walked on it for a good 3 hours. And the old man got home from work, took a look at my ankle, which was the size of a balloon at that point. My wife says, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh, I
I
saw,
just wanted to make sure he was really hurt.
that sounds like a typical mother.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that.
Love you too. Yeah, those were the days though. We were bred
I
tougher.
wouldn't trade it for the world.
No, but we were tougher kids back then. You know, we were outside. We weren't little pansies inside all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't imagine doing this sort of thing back then.
Oh, God, no.
You know, our generations have seen such a change in the world. Hell, I remember having an old coal range in my first house.
Oh, wow.
And I love coal ranges. They cook so beautifully. But now you're not allowed coal. I can have wood still, as long as it doesn't smoke, but I haven't even got a coal range. But if I ever built, I'd put one back in. Make it a wetback. Darn good cookers. They heat your house, they heat your water, make the best fruit cakes you've ever heard of. Girdle scones, pikelets. I'm showing my age here,
So
folks.
I grew up with a gas stove. We have an electric stove where we live now, and I'm just not used to it.
Yeah, I've got electric. We're mainly electric here in the North Island. They have gas more. It's slowly coming in down here. But you just buy the tank and replace the tank when it gives up.
Yeah.
Forget how big they are. It's alright, I put this guy on the worker. My finger was getting sore. That's the trouble with this cold weather. Bits of body complain. But that's okay.
Oh, I'm still getting acclimated to living in Minnesota after moving from the East Coast.
Mm. And do you like
I mean, we have
Minnesota?
cold winters. Oh, I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous here. We have cold winters on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Typically in February we'd get hit with sub-freezing temps. We'd see, 15, 20 degrees below zero.
Is it-
Out here, it's 0 degrees is a common number.
Yeah. But you dress for the fact. When I
What's
live,
that?
you dress for that sort of weather, don't you?
Well, me, the cold really doesn't bother me, unless it's like my hands.
Oh, that's cool.
Other than that, I can tolerate the cold.
You know, when I was living up in what we call central of the South Island, I lived on the what they call the Roxburgh Dam site. It was the old houses the workers used to live in when they were building the dam and that. And I rented one of them. And we used to have -20, -30 in the winter. And
Oh, wow.
it was cold. The driveway was on a slope, and you had to be so careful going out to take the kids to school or do anything first thing in the morning in the winter, because the car would just slide down it. You had to sort of aim it between the gates and hope. I never hit it, but I don't know how, because you'd just go. You couldn't stop her.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Lot of fun. Ah, those were the days.
My biggest complaint this year is that I missed fall here.
Miss what?
I missed fall out here in Minnesota.
Ah.
I was in the hospital for fall. And just the beginning of fall. So I missed all that weather.
Mm-hmm.
The summers and the springs out here are absolutely gorgeous.
So it was one of the best moves you made.
Well, I thought so at first. Up until recent events.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah, but you know,
And then
you
everything going on right now, passing time.
you can put all that behind you and go, right, I'm going forward. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to say, I know. But you sort of go, I can't sit and dwell on this. I've got to keep going. And
So
especially,
it's just the kids aren't going to benefit from me sitting here looking around.
yeah. But it's good that you've got them.
So, well, yeah, I give details, but not while you're streaming. Things aren't going the way they should at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than most people think.
Yeah. When isn't
So
life
just-
complicated?
Keeping to myself, biting my tongue, and I'm just, worrying about the kids and myself, and that's it.
I think that's what you have to do, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's you lot first and then everything after that. It'll all come right, darling.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, at the worst, you'll end up like me, single permanently.
Yeah. Trust me, after this ride, I rather would be.
Well, I enjoy being single, which upsets a lot of people. I like it. I can do what I like. I don't have to arrange with another half.
Yeah, don't have to make plans,
You know, I'm an independent female. You know, if people don't realise that there is a good side to it. But then I've adjusted, I've had to. Being a solo mum with kids, I had to.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I came a handyman.
But it's amazing as the
As
it's
a
amazing the stuff you learn. It's amazing the stuff you learn as a child from your parents during certain life situations.
yep.
I've been in contact with my mother, and I'm at a point where she was back in the 70s, where she was, thousands of miles away from home, and was going to be a single mother.
Yep.
The only difference is that her husband was trying to take the kid away,
Yeah.
and she made it through.
Yep.
There's no reason why I can't.
That's right.
There's a plus side to all this going on, which I don't know if the plus side or the sad side.
Yep.
The two younger, our oldest son's not that older, so I don't have to worry about that. He's an adult. He's 19. He can do what he wants.
Yeah.
The younger two are going to be given the option as to who they want to stay with. So,
Yeah.
and where my little plans are going, she has nowhere to take them.
So they're more likely to stay with you.
So, yeah.
But they'll always think the grass is greener on the other side and then come running back anyway.
Well, no, I've explained to them. I said, this is what's going on, and there's nowhere to put you guys up.
Yeah. But the main thing is to be honest with the kids. Because my number one rule with kids is always be honest. You know, if
There
you,
ain't no point in lying. It's the worst thing you can do, child.
yeah. You know, if you make a promise with them, keep that promise.
Yep.
And never ever lie to them. If you can't do something, tell them. Like my kids knew from an early age. No, I can't do that. I haven't got the money. The money has bought, and I'd show them.
Yep.
You know.
That's the one thing we're actually grateful for with our kids is they're not greedy.
Yeah.
They're not needy.
Mine weren't.
If the answer is no, they understand why the answer is no. It's not because of mean parents. you don't have the means to do so.
You just can't do it. You can't. And they say, oh, but so-and-so's got... Well, they've got two parents, they're both working, they can afford to do it. I'm sorry, but there's only me on a government benefit. Oh, because I refused to work when my kids were little. They tried to get me to work, and I says, and are you going to make sure my kids aren't on the street and aren't getting into drugs? And they went, we can't do that. And I says, well, don't expect me to work until they're old enough.
Yeah. Yep.
And they stopped pushing me.
Our oldest is turned 19. Our middle one's going to be 18 in November, and the youngest is going to be 12 in June.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're self-sufficient as is, thankfully. So
Yeah.
I don't have to really worry too much about them, and I'll be able to go back to work here shortly anyway.
Yeah.
So,
And they're old enough to be able to help out with jobs.
the older two are. The middle one, I'm not really pushing, because I don't know how to explain it. He's not emotional, but he's very self-conscious.
Yeah.
So, he has come to me and talked to me about getting a job. The oldest one is actively looking for a job because he understands what's going on, and he knows that I'm going to need help. So, the middle one, we talked about him getting a job. He's good with electronics and whatnot. He's kind of a computer geek, and he's an awesome artist. So it's not like the things are closed off to him for future possibilities.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
getting a little overwhelmed right now from college. He's sending him all this school information for college and whatnot. Take it one day at a time. And,
Yeah, he's got to find himself.
yeah. I mean, he's an excellent artist.
Yeah.
And he wants to get into computer aided design and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be a need for them.
Yeah.
You know, computers are in, so anybody wanting to be IT, they're in the right.
So our oldest went to tech school for electronics repair, electrician and electronics repair.
Yeah.
He can repair a computer or anything no matter how simple.
Oh, well, send him over here. He can fix my computer.
Finding work over here right now that
Yeah.
pays and it's not apprentice work is a tough thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the government here.
And he'd have to get his foot in the door as an apprentice and then work his way from there for electrician.
Yeah, the government here has opened up free apprenticeships since COVID to try and get the people back
Mm-hmm.
into work. So they said, right, free apprenticeships. We'll pay for them, which is really cool. I don't know how it's going. I haven't heard much about it since you started it. But it shows you it can be done. But I must admit, we're really lucky with this Prime Minister we've got this time.
I try not. I don't pay too much attention to politics.
Yeah, I'm not into politics, but
It's not worth the waste of breath sometimes.
yeah,
It's just, it's one of those things where you just gotta sit back and watch and see what happens.
that's right.
And I can't even watch and sit back and watch and see what happens because I don't have cable. whatever I hear is ridiculous do, and whatever I catch on YouTube that's a reliable news,
Yeah,
which happens not anymore. So
you're more likely
it's
not.
hard to tell who's telling the truth and who isn't.
You're more likely not missing anything anyway. If it's anything
no.
like our news, I look at it every day and I think, well, this is the same as yesterday. A load of rubbish. Things I don't really.
When we were back in Connecticut, we had, it was the only thing you hear about on the news is how many houses burnt down in a fire overnight, and how many people got shot in these 3 cities.
Yeah, well, we're getting like
And it's
that.
I don't want to hear about this anymore. I've had enough.
Yeah,
It got to the point where it was too depressing to turn on the TV. And if you were watching a TV show, it was a 30-year-old rerun, and it was the only thing worth watching. So why bother?
yeah, no, we're not.
When we moved here and signed on and got internet, they're like, oh, do you want cable? Nope. Didn't even hesitate. I don't want it.
Yeah,
Oh, well, we can give you this. No, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, we used to have Sky, but Sarge was looking after that side, but he cancelled it in the end because it was just repeat after repeat after repeat after repeat.
Yep.
It just wasn't worth it. So YouTube does us and ordinary everyday television, but none of us really watch that too much. Bina does for her 6 soaps, because she loves her soaps, but that's her age.
The internet we have now is sufficient for the time I want to do,
Yeah,
and it's only like $75 a month. Cheap.
yeah,
We got lucky in that respect.
yeah. I've got unlimited. I had to because of the streaming and
Yeah.
that. I had to go that way for us to be able to cope, to get the right one. I change it about every year. They'll come out with a new program, and as long as it's about what I'm paying now, I'll get it. I keep a set price. We're not going above that.
Oh well, when we had internet and cable back home, it was $170, $180 a month, and it wasn't worth it.
No, I pay.
And when
I think I'm about 123, but that's with my cell phone included,
there you go.
which works out quite nicely. Yeah, I think it's 123. Yeah. You know, it's quite cheap. At least I call that cheap to what it could be.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money a month just for... But as I said, for the streaming, we have to have it. And we don't go without much. We're not ones to go out, so we're homebodies.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind saying I'm home, but apparently that causes bigger problems than I thought it would.
And as I say to the kids, why should I go out? I might get COVID or something, even though there's no real cases here, except in the isolation hotels.
We just opened up here on the city I'm in with men just opened up, I guess, on the 11th. So restaurants are backing up full swing, bars are opening up. I don't understand the COVID restrictions though. You know, you have to wear a mask when you come in, but then once you're seated, you can take the mask off.
Yeah, we've got out of having to wear a mask all the time, because the ones on the buses wearing a mask has just been dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't mind have everyone going into lockdown, shutting the country down basically for, what was it, a couple of months. We said if that gets rid of it, and it did. 2 months of driving each other nuts in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But that was how we got on top, and just had the isolated ones.
The boys were, the 2 young boys are in heaven. They were on distance learning well before I got home from the hospital. And they were in 7th heaven because they could get up, throw on a clean t-shirt, and stand and it was over. They didn't need it. They loved it.
Yeah, no, Bina had the homeschooling going on, and they covered everything. And they dropped, they gave us a discount on our power. Those that lost their jobs got extra money.
Mm-hmm.
The government was really good, and now it's just a case of getting everything back into finances again.
Yeah.
And it's working, They told us not so long ago that we're heading in the right direction, so as long as that's working.
That was the funniest thing when I was in the hospital. Was when I was in recovery I was on the recovery floor for a good 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to move me from the recovery floor to the rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me I couldn't be moved to the rehab floor unless I took a COVID test. I looked at the nurse and I'm like, I've been in the hospital. It's this many weeks, and you want me to take a test for COVID? Oh, well, it's the floors. It's a separate entity, but it's from the hospital, but it's in the hospital. I said, I don't care who it is. I've been in here for 6 freaking weeks already, and you want to give me a COVID test and move me one floor down?
Exactly.
Like, I'm pretty sure you folks would have picked up on it if I had it.
And did they make you have it?
Oh yeah, they forced me to take it. There was no moving off of the recovery floor to the rehab floor without it.
Silly, isn't it? Because you hadn't been anywhere.
And then they made me take another one right before I was supposed to be moved to a nursing home.
Mm.
But my caseworker screwed that up for me, so that never happened.
But
I
in
still
a
had to take the test.
but in a way, that's a godsend because you got to come home.
Yeah. The caseworker had found a place for me right here in the town that we live in.
Yeah.
And she goes, they're going to send a nurse out on the state to, watch your wound care, take care of your wound vacs
Mm.
and do the dressing changes. So they did. They sent the nurse out. And the nurse started making, as soon as she started watching the wound tech do her thing, oh, we don't have those wound vacs. We have wound vacs, but not that specific brand. And my wound care tech was like, well, it doesn't matter the brand as long as they do the job.
That's right.
And it was just a constant back and forth. And then she looked at me, she goes, well, if you have to come back here while you're in our nursing home, it's a $400 round trip and you have to pay out of pocket. I looked at her and laughed and I said, you might as well leave me in the freaking hospital.
That's right.
She goes, what do you mean? I said, I can't afford that. $400 round trip? No.
Hell no.
And then my caseworker that afternoon called him back and they gave her some lame ass excuse as to my dressing changes were too complicated. And she's like, well, wait a second, you're the ones that volunteered to take it.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what you were in for. And that was on a Friday, and then she called back Monday and they're like, yeah, sorry, no, we're not taking any new patients.
Yeah, that was a load of rubbish.
Like, well, gee, thanks, appreciate that.
So what are they doing for the residents that are already in there that got the same problem?
Oh, they're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No. Sorry, that's just a pitiful excuse.
She told me that. I said I'd rather go home anyway. She goes, me, I'm like, my wife can handle this. I said I'd rather just go home. So just get me well enough to go home.
Yeah. And there
And
you
I
were.
had to fight too. I actually had to fight the day that I came home. I had to fight tooth and nail to get out of the hospital.
Why?
They wouldn't get my discharge papers signed by a doctor, and they're like, oh, well, he's not here. And I'm like, this hospital's full of doctors. Yeah, I want to look at my case and have them sign the discharge papers. Oh, we're doing our best to get the doctor that's going to sign you to, sign everything. And like, finally around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the caseworker stuck her head back in because it was like an hour before she had to leave.
Yeah.
I looked at her, I said, I'll give you to 5 o'clock. If my papers are not signed, I'm leaving this hospital. I don't care if the discharge papers are signed. I will walk out of here with my wife. She came back in about 15 minutes later, said the doc's on his way, he'll be here in about 30 minutes. I said, as long as he's here by 5 and those papers are signed, I don't care.
That's right. But it just shows you when you put the pressure on them.
And by 5 o'clock that night, the nurse that I had been assigned that day came in and he had the papers signed and ready for me to go.
Mm. But
All
anyway.
my medications, all my prescriptions ready and set to go and everything.
Yeah. No, I've seen those vacs working. They work quite well.
They do. About 2 weeks after I was moved to rehab, I went from 2 wound vacs to 1.
Oh, that's good.
And then the rest of my time I had the 1, and the only reason I ever leaving that on there is because I was still in the hospital. They wanted to keep it in there as long as possible.
Yeah.
And I'd gotten so accustomed to the bedside dressing changes that it didn't bother me.
You just came.
At first, At first they were giving me, I had an IV in, so they were giving me the water every time they did a dressing change,
Yeah.
or hydromorphine. And
Mm.
oh my god, that stuff will send you for a ride in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
So
we
15 seconds after they give it to me, I'd be freaking loopy.
know. I remember a stream you came on. It weren't making much sense to you.
Yeah, no, that's what messed me up bad. It got to a point where I was actually looking forward to getting the shots
Mm.
for pain because my assigned doctor would come in about anywhere between 4:30 and 5:30 in the morning to do the dressing change on my bottom. And it got to the point where I was actually anticipating getting the shot. And I told the doctor, I said, this is the last day you're going to be giving me this. He goes, well, so I don't want you to be in a lot of pain. I said, I don't care if I'm in pain at this point. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting addicted to this stuff and I don't like it.
That's right. That's
I said, you're taking the IV out today. This is the last time you're going to give me that crap. Oh, okay.
yeah. But anyway, I need to close down the stream. So I'll just say my thank yous to Tiny, especially, been great company. Farmer Min, Glenn, Tiny I've already said, Ruby Gaming, be good to get to know you, young lady. Todster, Light, Steve, E. So thank you for being here, and I will catch up with you next Tuesday as long as we don't have a nor'wester. So take care, and I'll catch you all another day. Thank you.